record on this computer. Awesome. Welcome back to the I Made My Mark podcast. Today we have Josh joining us to share a little bit about his time at JMU. Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Megan. Yeah, so I'm a senior computer information systems major from Gainesville, Virginia. And yeah, I'm looking forward to graduating in a couple months.
Awesome. And Josh, what organizations have you made your mark in around campus?
So currently I'm very active in Safe Rides. I've been an exec for 2 years now, but I've been in the organization since sophomore year. And then in addition to that, we just got powerlifting club started this year, so that's been super exciting. And then apart from that, it's not really like a club, but orientation I've been very active in since my sophomore year as well.
Awesome. Seems like you've got a lot of different spots around campus. That's really cool. And kind of transitioning more to your JMU experience, what does JMU mean to you?
So JMU is a place where I kind of got my feet set in who I was. Coming into college, I was really nervous. I was shy, and I wasn't exactly sure what I liked to do and who I was. And I can attribute, JMU for helping find the answers to those questions and not even necessarily having it all figured out because I don't have anything figured out, to be honest. That's kind of how I am as a person. We kind of just keep ourselves guessing and find the path as we're on the trail.
That's so fair. And what are your next steps after graduation, and how are you going to take JMU with you into that next chapter of your life?
Yeah, so I actually will be working in Tyson's Corner for Leidos as a junior solutions architect, which I don't think I've ever really said out loud before, but it's really exciting. And I've worked with the company a little bit before, and I want to work for somewhere that accepts me and all of my personality. And I found a place that would do that. So I'm going to take myself and every bit of me and to my next steps and see where that goes.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with us for the first time. That's awesome. And can you tell me a little bit about one of your favorite memories that you've made while here at JMU?
Yeah, so let's see. I've had a couple. But one thing that's kind of weird that just like encapsulates like the JMU spirit is like there were multiple times where I would just be like doing my okay. Before I even say this doesn't happen often. I don't know, like nobody else has experienced anything like this that I know of. It's just like randomly happens to me. But yeah, so when I'm like sitting around on campus, just like minding my own business, like getting ready. And the first instance, I finished with class and I was just talking to one of my friends. And the second one, I was waiting for a bus. But then someone is injured and then they're like bleeding. That's what happened both times. And, people around them pick themselves up by their bootstraps, if you will. They'll like do whatever first aid is necessary to help them out. And it's like complete strangers, never met them in their lives. We'll just see somebody in need of help and we'll go and help them. And my instances, it's been me. The first time I gave a girl my sock and I like tied it around her foot. First of all, I'm a CIS major. I'm not nursing. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm definitely not qualified for this at all. But I tried my best. And the second time I was finished with the gym. So then I gave her my extra shirt. It's called a pump cover if we're being very, very technical. But yeah, so I honestly think that's been like very unique experiences that just really do show like how JMU is as a place. And I think it was really cool to be involved in something like that, even though it's like very, very odd and weird.
Yeah, definitely. JMU is a place where people care about each other. That's cool.
Yeah.
And now that you're getting ready to graduate, which is sad, you've had a lot of experiences on campus and probably have a lot of advice to give. So if you could give a piece of advice to underclassmen, what would it be and why?
Um, let's see. I have so many things that I would say. My first one is that a lot of people come in with the expectation that college is like the best 4 years of your life
Mhm.
and you'll find all of your best friends. With that being said, I agree that it has the potential to be all of those things,
Mhm.
but that also puts a lot of pressure on incoming first year students.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important just to recognize that every single moment won't be the best that you have. You'll be
Mhm.
really stressed at times. You'll be like going through it. I mean, college has a lot of ups, but it also has a lot of downs. And
Oh,
I think it's very, very important to realize going into it, not to put too much pressure on yourself with having everything figured out, with doing all of the right things, but just take it one day at a time.
mhm.
Um, and just put your best foot forward. A lot of the times I'll think of like a very far end goal of mine. And instead of thinking, oh, I'm not on the right track, I'll think of what's the best thing I can do in this moment in time to
Mhm.
put me one step forward and kind of lay those bricks and see if I can get there that way, rather than being hyper fixated on, am I doing the right thing or not? Just so it's a little bit less stressful. Just because I mean, I personally struggled a lot in college with like classwork specifically. Um, yeah. And if you do poorly one semester, 2 semesters, you can still end up just fine. I mean,
Mhm.
take me as an example. I I'm gonna be pretty open here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my first semester of college, I was a computer science major. That was what I declared, and I took the intro class, and I got a D in it. Horrible, very sad. Never done that in a class in my life before. And then I came in, got that shock, and I was like, oh god, I got really scared.
Yeah.
Um, and then I didn't give up though. I switched my major to computer information systems um, because I was scared that if I took that class again, I would fail it, which is a whole different other story. I think I should have stayed on CS and just grinded it out. But yeah, so I got the D, switched majors, and then I was like, okay, this will be fine. But there was so much more struggle there too. Um, got like C's in different classes and like C minuses and barely squeaked my way into the College of Business. And it was something I was so stressed about. And I put so much pressure on myself and I didn't know what I was going to do if I didn't get in.
Mhm.
Um, but my advice would be just like focus on the now. Because I can't count the number of like sleepless nights that I've had because of how much pressure I put on myself.
Yeah.
Um, and just live your life instead of just like being confined to the circumstance that you're in, if that makes sense. So like what I would mean by that is just because you're in like a rocky situation, say with your academics, that doesn't mean that you have to live and breathe the books. Like I said, went through all of those struggles academically, but here I am blessed to have received multiple offers out of college able to negotiate a very, very, very comfortable salary for myself. And my GPA is not good. Like, if I'm being honest, like it's not good. But I did it because I was able to do it because of, you know, GPA does not define who you are.
Mhm.
Um, and just having like skills under my belt. And I went on for a really long time there, but I can't emphasize enough that like you got to be nice to yourself in college,
Yeah.
or else it's going to be really, really difficult at times, if not all the time.
Yeah. No, that was all really good stuff. Thank you for being so open about that. I think it's going to help a lot more people than you realize.
Thank you.
It's helping me now, and I'm in grad school. So,
No, literally, I'll listen to this again and I'll be like, oh yeah, no, that's totally right. I'm definitely not perfect. I always get caught thinking like about like the super long term, like, oh, I'm not on track. I'm not doing this right. I'm doing that right. So it'll be good to hear myself and like ground myself.
yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. And what do you think is the most important mark that you've made on campus? And when people look back and they think of you, what is your legacy going to be?
Yeah, so honestly, it's kind of weird answering this question just because like in my head I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna leave this place. Like I'm still here. Like I still have more time. So it's like kind of odd that it's like coming to a close and definitely still coming to terms with that. Um, but kind of like thinking about the legacy and the mark that I've made on campus, I would say the mark I've made. Actually, to be honest, I don't really want to leave a legacy. I don't want like that to be how people remember me by kind of like who I am
Mm,
or like what I did. More so, I would like them to like be left with like what I've left behind.
mm,
Um, so for example, with orientation, I think the okay, so honestly it seems to me like the most important thing that I did with orientation was with my students. So hopefully it would be kind of like an effect where I pass down lessons that they pass down. So things like I've talked about previously, like grades don't really define who you are.
mm,
Who you are as a person, very important. Search for yourselves in different ways. I hope they pass lessons like that down that I've given to them. And then it keeps on cycling. And then that's my mark and orientation for safe rides. Um, let's see, I'm kind of like, I feel like whether I like it or not, I'm going to leave a legacy behind there,
mm,
just because of how much I put myself into the organization. I
mm,
mean, like they say in college, like you get what you get out is what you put in.
mhm,
Um, I think that's completely embodied in how I interacted in safe rides.
mm,
And that's just kind of like doing absolutely everything I can um, to like just be involved in the organization and then just find myself in the service of providing free and confidential rides to the Harrisonburg community
mhm,
every weekend. And even though COVID did have like it just like stopped us right in our tracks.
yeah,
Um, the culture is still alive and well and there. And I think just me being myself, my complete, authentic, crazy, wild self at every meeting, I think it does inspire other people to do the same. And I was a little bit nervous about leaving it behind. I hope people are like inspired to do the same with themselves. But after like just genuinely taking a step back, I can definitely say that that is the case. And I'm so excited for there. So yeah, I think my legacy will not be kind of like who I am, what I've done, but more so what I've left behind and allowing others to do the same that I did. And could not be more happy about that. As much as I would selfishly like to be remembered as like this awesome, crazy, nice, funny guy, that's so handsome. Oh, he got a haircut. um, yeah, no, as much as I'd love to be remembered, I think it's so much more important that I actually did something that allows other people to step into themselves more confidently.
Yeah, that's really powerful. That shows who you are as a leader, definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today and for being on the podcast. It's been great getting to talk with you and learn a little bit from you today. Us at the Student Leadership Center, we wish you the best of luck in your journey after JMU, and we hope you know that your JMU family is always going to be here to support you.
Thanks so much, Megan.
Of course. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.